Instead of my normal weekly recap video where I'm at the computer and I'm sharing my screenshots and talking about my trades, I'm going to do this video. Um, I placed 5 trades this week on M&Q on my eval, and I lost all of them. So that's my recap. I just wanted to talk about how freaking difficult day trading is. It is hard. All these videos on the internet, all these thumbnails that are like, follow this easy strategy, simple setup. Nothing is easy about day trading. Nothing. I feel like I took all the trades I took this week, I took 5, right? And a lot of people say that people are blowing their accounts, they can't make it, whatever, because they're over trading. Like, that's a common reason that's given. I don't feel like I overtrade. I mean, I took 5 this entire week. I took 1 a day. And there's days I take 0. I have shared in a video my thoughts on overtrading. Even though it's not a big number, I still overtrade in that I'm taking trades that are not likely to work sometimes, but I've generally gotten better about it. But this week, I feel like I took every trade was a setup of mine. Exactly, like textbook. And yet none of them worked. Now, one would have worked. I did give into frustration and fear on one, which I rarely do nowadays. So that was disappointing because that was a nice trade. And it's just crazy how, like, the one trade I closed early is the one that would have worked. I don't understand that. But even so, even if I had won, that puts me at 2 out of 10 winning trades for the past 2 weeks. For all of 2026, I placed 10 trades, which is a terrible win rate. And all these videos say trading is 90% psychology, your mindset. It's what's keeping you from winning. It's what's keeping you from passing your eval, from getting it funded. It's your psychology, your mindset. Stop doing these 3 things. And it's like, no, I don't think that's it for me. I don't overtrade. I don't oversize. I never change my sizing. The only time I've changed my sizing is to experiment with having like multiple take profits. So I could have like a 1 to 1, a 1 to 2, and then I just stick with that, while I'm experimenting. And then recently I've scaled back to 1 contract. That's the only time I've changed my sizing. I don't take random trades. Like, I wait for my setups. I have 3 setups I take. They're basic price action. I don't, like, if I take a loss, I'm not looking to make it back. Like, I'm literally just waiting for the next setup, and then I take it. And I've gotten a lot better about a lot of things, like not letting the outcome of the last trade affect the next one, hesitation, things like that. I've gotten a lot better about. And I'm not saying that psychology is not a factor, because it definitely has hindered me in the past, but like, I don't feel like it is anymore. And yet I'm still losing. I just lose. And I'm able to go on little win streaks here and there. I mean, I won all of my trades the last couple weeks of December and almost got my account out of drawdown with those trades. And at that point, I thought, finally, I got it. I have my setups. I know when to stay out when the market's not good. I know when to take it. I had optimized my take profit and stop loss placement and management. Um, and yeah, and so my goal for 2026 was just continue trading the way I've been trading. And I feel like I've done that. And yet I lose. I'm now on a losing streak. And I just don't have an edge. No matter what I do, my win rate falls to like 40%. I think right now it's like 37%. Like, it's just as bad as someone who is starting from 0 and doesn't know what they're doing, doesn't know anything. And it's so crazy. Like, I've been studying this for almost 2 years. And I'm just so tired of the videos and the crap advice. It's like blaming your psychology. I think it's super understated how important it is to have a system that works, to have models that give you an edge. Because I feel like I'm doing everything right, everything you're supposed to do, everything all the videos say, do these 3 things to be a successful trader in 2026. Like, I do those things, and yet I'm not successful. And it feels hard to believe that if I just keep doing what I'm doing, it's just going to turn around. Like, that's literally the definition of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And yet that's what the trading community tells you to do. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep taking those trades. But why would things just start turning around? I mean, that's why I gave up on MES and supply and demand, because it just wasn't working. You know, after 6 months, I was like, why would this just start working all of a sudden? I'm going to do something different. So yeah, I don't know. I'm very confused. Especially when I see other traders on YouTube stream and I watch them take losses. Like, there's one trader who'll take like 3 or 4 losses in a day. And maybe some are break even, I don't know. And then somehow they get payouts. And I'm like, how do you do that? How can you take 4 losses day after day and be in a place where you get payouts? Because I can't afford to make a mistake just to like keep my head above water. And there's so many traders like that. Like, there's a couple others who have funded accounts who've gotten payouts, and yet their YouTube videos are about how they struggle with discipline, how they overtrade, they mismanage, they this, that. And I'm like, how did you even pass an eval? Like, if you struggle with those things, how on earth did you pass an evaluation? How did you even get to a payout? Because, like, I don't do these things and I can't even grow my account by $1. And I'm so confused, you know, like watching people make it, you know, after a year and a half, and they're successful. And I don't feel like I haven't done the work. Like, I know I have. I journal, I study, I analyze. But one of the craziest things, there's a lot of crazy things, but one is like, I'll look at my past trading sessions and I'll come up with like a set of rules, criteria, whatever, and I'll back test based on those rules, and I'll get some results that seem good. Great. Back test results are great, right? And then I'll go to apply them moving forward, and it's like it no longer applies. Like, I never see the same market conditions. Every day is different. Every day it might look like something from before, but it's actually a little bit different. And it's like those lessons learned just don't actually help me. They never help me. I never get the same results in live as I got in back testing. And I don't know like how to fix that, you know? I recently posted something on a Facebook group that I'm in, kind of venting, kind of like I am now, and just asking like, when do you give up? Like, I've been at this for 2 years doing everything you're supposed to do. I journal, I screenshot, I review, I backtest, I study, I don't overtrade, I take 1 to 2 trades a day, I don't FOMO, I don't I don't do anything. So when do you give up? Like, you know? And I got a lot of comments. Most weren't very helpful for me. One person said some interesting things. They said, well, have you demoed for 3 months before going live? And I was like, yes, of course I have. I've demoed for a year. I can't find an edge. And they're like, okay, those are contradictory statements. If you can't find an edge in backtesting, then you shouldn't be trading live, right? And I had to think about that because I know I've backtested. I know I have. I know I've sat down, like I said, with my set of rules, backtested the sessions, figure out what the results would be, add it all up, looks great, go take it live, right? And I was like, why is it not working for me then? And what I came up with was that, well, I use discretion. Every day, part of my analysis is to identify what is the market doing? Is it trending? Is it ranging? Is it choppy? And that helps me to figure out which setups to take, which levels do I want to take trades off of, etc. And when I backtest now, in all fairness, I don't do it the best way. Okay, the best way would be bar replay. It is so time consuming though. So I generally look at the whole chart, and then because I use the same levels every day, I can kind of backtest that way. If I was like coming up with levels like fibs based off highs and I don't know, that would be a lot harder. But my levels are just the previous session, just highs and lows. That's it. So it's very easy to identify. So there's no like subjectivity or discretion with that. Okay. So when I backtest, I can generally identify my setups that work. I have 3, right? But what I don't do is I don't identify the setups I would have taken live that actually didn't work. Because in the moment, you see something that looks like your setup, but it's not. And then when you look at it in full, it's obviously not your setup, right? And sometimes I do catch them. I am able to see that was my setup that didn't work, but I miss a lot of them. And so it just skews my results. And so that's what I said. I said, I was thinking about it and I missed the trades that were wrong when I backtest. And my discretion, my analysis, it's different every day. And when I'm able to see how the chart plays out, it just skews everything. So even though, yeah, I do backtest and I primarily forward test and then like analyze my results and try to come up with new conclusions, apply them moving forward, right? Like I was talking about, which doesn't even help. But anyway. And then she responded and said, your discretion needs to be written down as rules. And then you can test against those rules. And I was like, I know I've done that. I know I've created rules, gone back tested, and, tried with those rules, trading with those rules moving forward. It hasn't helped me. But I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I guess I could define it even further. Like maybe I have too many things that are just too open to interpretation, maybe, that I could define like at a very detailed level. So I decided to write down my models. So I drew out my models. I wrote all my rules down, all my discretion rules. I can only take this trade if this and that, etc. And that's what I'm gonna use in the next few weeks, and we'll see how it goes. I'll reevaluate. I basically drew out the only models I'm willing to take. So instead of using discretion on like just trying to apply a broad set of ideas to trades, basically just saying these are the only setups I'll take, right? And so that will reduce the number of setups that I get, which is kind of crazy because I only take 5 or 6 a week. So I think it'll reduce it even more. The theory being that I have a better win rate. But I don't know. I feel like I've gone through this before multiple times and it hasn't helped me. The only difference now with this round is that I've defined my setups. Like I drew them out specifically. If it looks like this, then take it instead of, yeah, it just being too broad. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just here to say day trading is so hard. It is so hard. It is the hardest thing I have ever put so much time and effort into with literally zero progress. And you think like, or I would think that if I just made one mistake here and there, I would at least be making progress. It just wouldn't be like astronomical. It wouldn't be like an insane curve. It would just be like slow and steady. But that's not the case. It's just a nosedive. Or actually, it'll be like a nice curve up and then a nosedive. Curve up, nosedive. Every time. And I've never been able to get out of this cycle. I'm hoping one day, like, this channel can be a place where I can say it's worth it. It's possible if you put in the work, if you dedicate time, if you do the inner self work, that this is possible. But I can't say that. And I don't even know if I believe it, right now because I feel like I'm doing the work. I've done the inner work. I've identified what's wrong with my trading from a like mindset level. I feel like I've fixed that, but now it's like my strategy, like my edge isn't there, and it's so hard to find it. There's so many things that you have to factor. Your system it's your entry. It's how do you set your stop? What should your max stop be? How do you set your take profits? Do you trail? Do you take partials? Do you like all of these things are part of your system? And it takes so much trial and error. And along the way, you're also battling your mindset stuff. So you don't know if what's going wrong is it because of your mindset or is it because of your system, right? And so you're constantly working on both, not knowing where the problem really is. um, and I feel like I've fixed a lot of my psychology stuff. And so right now, that's why I'm saying it just drives me crazy seeing all these videos about your psychology is blowing your trading up. I just don't think that's it for me. And it's just as important to have a system that actually works and actually gives you an edge. And that's where I'm stuck. And I don't know why. I don't know what to do better. I've kind of have felt like this for a long time, but I actually do think I've gotten better over the past several months. Um, but now I feel that way again. I'm like, I don't know what to do better. I don't know what to improve. I don't know. I don't overtrade. I only take a handful of trades a week. I don't do any of those bad habits, that supposedly cause you to blow your account. I just take my same setups every day. So I'm trying to figure out what I need to add to my trading so I can have more confidence in my setups, knowing like, okay, this is A plus. There's this phrase going that's like, keep it simple, keep it stupid simple. But I have found that if you keep it too simple, you end up taking every setup and then you don't have an edge, right? Like, I feel like you need something else that tells you when to get into a trade or not. So that's kind of part of what I'm trying to figure out now. I'm definitely discouraged, defeated. I think my account, this is crazy. I had gotten it close to out of drawdown, not quite. I was like $12 away from drawdown. And I'm literally just back where I started, and maybe even worse, actually. So I'm probably $200 from blowing the account I'm in. And it's so crazy how that can happen, how your setups can work for a little bit and then just stop working. I don't know. Anyways, this was a rant. This was just me sharing my feelings about learning to day trade, where I'm at. This is real. This is truth. Like, it is hard. And I don't want to discourage anyone, like, if you're learning. But I also just can't say that it's possible. But anyway, that's all I really have to say. That's my recap. And this is the real truth of what it's like to learn to day trade.